going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Elite Fantasy Hoops video, and today we got a special one for you. We are going to give you the introduction for Sorare NBA. The NBA season is right around the corner, and Sorare is about to drop its third year of its NBA product, and we need to be ready to go. So in this video, we'll give you an introduction of how to get started, how the game works, and how to win those sweet, sweet prizes. So if you're into fantasy basketball and are looking for ways to connect with the NBA, well, tap in. So what exactly is Sorare NBA?
This is a good question.
Sorare is a fantasy sports platform, but with a little bit of a twist. Instead of paying money to enter contests like you would on, say, a DraftKings, a FanDuel, or an Underdog, in this game, you're actually buying the player. You're buying digital collectibles. And for all of you crypto nerds out there, that means it's powered by blockchain technology. But you collect digital cards of NBA players, and then you use those cards to create lineups and contests to win cash prizes or more digital collectibles that you can then use in future contests. So here's how it works. The first thing you got to do is sign up for Sorare. And good news for you, if you use the link that's tagged in the show description, once you buy 5 limited cards off auctions, they're going to give you a 6th limited tier card for free. And one of my favorite aspects about the Sorare platform is you don't have to spend money to get started. This is a new game, and you might want to be a little bit more cautious before you invest some cash. So when you sign up, you actually get started with free common cards that you get to use week in and week out in free contests that if you really perform well in, you can even win limited tier cards. But I promise you, once you get that beak wet with the Sorare NBA platform, you're gonna be ready to dive in. Now, there's 4 different tiers you can get involved in. There's a limited tier card, which is a good entryway. And if you're starting to feel yourself a little bit, there's a rare tier card. And if you just want to drop some serious cash, there's a super rare tier and in a unique tier. Now, what makes the unique is that those tier cards are actually one of one.
Unique New York.
That means there's gonna be only one Giannis, one Wembanyama, one Nikola Jokic of every year. Meaning heading into year 3, there's only 2 Jokic's on the platform in the unique world. Now, I mentioned up top, there's a few different ways where you can start acquiring cards to build up your collection so you're ready to go. The first way is on the auction. As we head closer to the start of the NBA season, Sorare NBA will start listing year 3 cards on auction. And so then you will be competing against all of the other Sorare NBA players out there to try to acquire that card. And the beautiful part about that is the users are actually setting the price point. Now, the second way to go about doing that is to head over to the marketplace, because after you buy Sorare NBA cards, you can actually sell them too. So if you head over to the marketplace, you can filter by different tiers, by different players, by different price points, and start to acquire some cards that way through marketplace deals. And the third and final way to acquire some cards probably feels the best. It's by winning them.
It's like winning.
Now, once you've picked up some cards, it's time to start building some lineups. In Sorare NBA, you create a team of 5 different players. You can select cards from your collection, and your lineup competes against other players' lineups in weekly fantasy contests. Now, Sorare NBA puts together a variety of different contests, but we'll use the example of the contest that they roll out every single week, and that's Contender and Champion. And they roll these out across all the different tiers, whether it's limited, rare, super rare, unique. Now, the biggest difference between the 2 contests in Contender and Champion is Contender, you have a total cap of 120. Now, each player's cap is just built out by how they performed over the last 10 games. So if Giannis has been averaging 45 fantasy points over his last 10 games, he'll have a cap of 45. So in the Contender contest, you have a total cap of 120, which means you can take any 5 players you'd like to put into that lineup as long as the cap is 120 or less. And the only difference between Contender and Champion is that you actually kind of get a free spot. You can use an MVP that does not count against your cap. So you still get 120, but you also get a freebie in there.
Free.
You'll also notice that as the season goes on, there'll be different types of contests that come out. Some require you to use cards from the current year, so we would be in year 3 NBA, which means whether on the marketplace, winning a card, or getting it off the auction, you need some year 3 cards in your lineups. They'll also have contests that allow you to use cards in your collection from previous year, whether that's year 1 or year 2. And lastly, they're going to introduce some chases, which is a lot of fun because it's a cumulative score over a period of time. A great example of that is what they introduced last season with the NBA in-season tournament, or NBA Cup, or Emirates Cup, or however many times they're going to change the name of the cup. But every time we had in-season tournament games, those points would count towards the ultimate chase. And we'll have to stay tuned to see what kind of sick prizes Sorare NBA has in store for us for those chases. At this point, we've collected some cards, whether off the auction or marketplace. We've put together some lineups, we've entered contests, and now we just need our guys to perform. So here's the scoring system on Sorare NBA. If your player scores some points, so do you. Whether it's points, rebounds, assists, steals, blocks, all of those come together to build your player's score. There's also these bonuses. So if you've had this card for a while and have been playing this card week in and week out, you're going to get a little bit of a percentage boost on that player's score. So if I have a 10% boost on my Giannis card and he's just dropped 45 points, I can't do math, but he's going to get a little bit more than 45 points. But my favorite part about Sorare NBA that in my opinion separates it from the other fantasy platforms, that there's only 2 times you have to set your lineups a week. One of the most challenging things about fantasy basketball is having to pay attention every single night right before the game's locked to see who's in and who's out. But with Sorare NBA, their game weeks run like this. Every Monday, typically at 6:45 Eastern, we have the first game week lock. And then that game week lasts Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, and then concludes Thursday night. And then the next game week starts on Friday night, similarly right around 6:45 Eastern, and then runs through the weekend, ending on Sunday night. Now, if you're a true fantasy hooper, you're probably locked in 24/7 anyways. But if you have an actual life and responsibilities, you really just need to lock in Monday evening and Friday evening. And good news for you is that throughout the entire NBA season, an hour before lock at 5:30 Eastern on Mondays and Fridays, right here on this channel, we'll be doing a live stream that breaks down all of the fantasy projections, all of the injury news, and then to try to keep you here, we're going to give away rare tier cards every single game week. This is going to be the 3rd year that I'm participating in Sorare NBA, and it's truly been one of my favorite ways to sweat the basketball world. So again, use the link in our show notes, create an account, and you don't even have to drop money right away. Just mess around with the free game and get your feet wet. And then make sure you subscribe to this channel and stay tuned for all the Sorare NBA content that we'll be dropping. I've already mentioned the live before lock. We're going to have a weekly value hunting show. We're going to be bringing on guests from the community to really break down what's going on in the Sorare NBA world. And then let's win some cash together. And if you are new to the game, feel free to ask some questions, whether in the comments or join our Discord. You can find a link in the show notes. We've got a lot of knowledgeable people who are much better at this than I am in the Discord that can help you out. The NBA season can't get started soon enough. I hope you join Sorare NBA with us, and thanks for watching.